Hello, everybody. This is Richard Weil, and I am the owner and principal of National Restaurant Consultants. And we welcome you into our 180th edition of the NRC Helpful Moment. I think we're in three different spots today. Might be a little noisy. I have our Vice President of National Restaurant Consultants, Jared Flowers, live from Charlotte, downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. And as always, Mr. Brian Devine from Cafe Fuel and Top Line Management. Hello, Brian. How's your Wednesday?
It's going great. How about you?
Good. And I'm actually in Colorado Springs, Colorado today. And we're kind of in three different spots. Jared's in the middle of working on a new restaurant opening. Yes. Not anybody looking to fix something. They're looking to start something. But what's great about it, Jared, in the last several months has been working with new restaurants. I think this makes like 3 here recently, Jared. And one of the things that he's working towards so hard, we've talked about the last couple of weeks, is culture, is creating that culture. And in the case of a new restaurant, there's an amazing opportunity, and there go the lights. And there's an amazing opportunity to create the culture from day one. And so Jared is a proponent of culture in a business, in a restaurant. And Jared, you want to talk a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind? Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are working right now with a new client here in Charlotte. And like any of our new restaurant builds, National Restaurant Consultants is nothing more than, when we talk about a legacy company, about building systems and culture. If we don't have those two things in place, it doesn't matter how cool your concept is. It doesn't matter how great your food is. It doesn't matter how many drinks you have. Everything has to be built around systems and culture. And, when you have a culture of acceptance, you have a culture of, inclusion, and, really set expectations. I'll divert for a second. My 17-year-old son just started his first job not too long ago. And what I did learn is you can tell them everything you want them to do and they will do nothing more. But if you set a culture of, letting them ask questions, letting them be involved, let your employees and your management team have a voice, then you're going to be successful. We can look at, so many concepts, which Chick-fil-A, Shake Shack, that have really set the standard for culture. And you can see the numbers. They're incredibly successful because of that. The mom and pops that are just opening on a whim, those are the folks that seem to be struggling. So make sure that before you decide to open a restaurant, you decide who you want to be. We have a client, as a matter of fact, and I'll mention them by name, Zell's Mountain Creperie, that's out of Denver. The very first thing that we created as a concept was our values. And every single person that we interviewed and every single person we hired had to read off and sign off on the values and the culture of the concept before hiring them. And I think that sets the tone for where we move forward as leadership. So again, you can have a great idea for a great restaurant, but until we put together systems and culture, we're starting at the wrong end of the spectrum.
So what's going to happen is you can sign off and you can create that culture, and it's in theory great, especially during onboarding. What happens is we get then to a point of operations in reality, and then all of a sudden that culture starts to slip, and it becomes then the crisis culture, which is the second half of what we wanted to talk about today. We get into that point where we're managing by crisis, and we forget those true core values that got set up with the culture. That's where the tailspin starts to happen. And that's the safety net you got to put into your brain, that you can't let that move. And there's a lot of people who have wonderful ideas. There's no doubt.
Well, and I agree with you, Richard. And I think that the one important thing to say is so many operators that we've worked with over the years have a great idea and a great culture, and then they don't manage it.
Right.
So it becomes nothing more than words on a paper. So what I would share with anybody watching and any of our operators or any of our future clients is you have to do a check-in. You know, what is the operational pulse of your culture routinely? Because if we just put words on a paper and we don't check in on ourselves every once in a while, we're doing no good. We're just a spin factor.
I agree with you, Jared. You nailed it 1,000%. Brian, you must have something to say about culture because marketing is a culture.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Jared and Richard. And I just wanted to kind of take that to the most logical step, which is make sure whatever culture you decide on, you pull that into your marketing so that there's no disconnect. And it also means that you kind of start out with a good marketing plan because you know the things that you will do based on your culture. You know the things that you won't do based on your culture. And it also kind of helps codify what we're talking about here, which is that you have to keep on thinking about it and talking about it and getting all of your team engaged with that culture. But it also means that you get to tell your customers what's important to you, what matters, what type of a place you're going to be. If you are involved in a local charity, like all of those things are wrapped up into not only your culture, but your marketing. So don't just think that it's only internal. It absolutely has to affect what you do in your marketing so that it all works together and it can continue to grow and make for a great concept.
And make good business decisions, folks, because attracting and retaining customers and attracting and retaining staff, employees, your team is literally the two most valued assets. But that marketing and that staying true to your culture, but not just on paper, those things go hand in hand. And every touch point that you're looking at, whether it's your menu, your four walls, your staff, or even your social media, they have to be true to that culture. So that's really the message for today. Jared, do you have anything else to add?
No, I would just say again, I cannot emphasize enough that you have to keep checking the pulse of your culture constantly. You can write a mission statement, you can give a handbook, but if you're not checking in on your folks, you're not managing your culture. And I will tell you on behalf of myself, National Restaurant Consultants, and Richard and our entire team, that as a legacy company, culture and systems are the basis of everything we do. And without a culture, we have no people. And with no people, we have no business.
That's a fact.
So take care of your people, take care of your business, take care of your systems. And we're always here for you no matter what you need to do. All you got to do is pick up the phone or type a few letters on the keyboard, and we're here.
Well, that's it for the NRC Helpful Moment. I think it's 180, maybe not 181, Brian, but we'll figure that out.
It is 181. I checked before we hopped on.
It is 181. Well, then I missed a week somewhere, but okay, 181. I should never doubt you. That's it. There's our website coming across. Thank you all. Brian, anything else for today?
No, I think we covered it all. Thanks, everybody.
All right. So long for now, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too.